Best Buy TV walkthrough Black Friday edition up next.
I've seen things people wouldn't believe.
Hey, what's up guys, I'm Brian, this is Tech Therapy. Thank you so much for joining me for this Black Friday Best Buy TV walkthrough. I love doing these videos to show you what's on sale and how the TVs are set up, not just every other month, but specifically this video for Black Friday. This is where the Best Buy employees change the store around to make sure that you guys can find the best possible deals for Black Friday. They also do the same thing for Super Bowl Sunday. Now, CES is right around the corner, and now with Black Friday here, this is the sweet spot where the TVs are at their lowest price before the new models are announced in just a few months. So without further ado, let's go into Best Buy and get your next TV. Thank you so much for watching. All right, guys, let's do it. We'll begin with Samsung, as Samsung tends to have the largest presence in most Best Buys in the country. They tend to have the flagship as their centerpiece, which in this case is an 8K TV, and then it's flanked by the rest of their higher end than mid-tier models. We're going to start in the former Magnolia section with the S84F, which is a WOLED. It's not a quantum dot OLED, however, it is still a gorgeous TV at an amazing price. The S84 also comes in two sizes at 65 and 77 inches. The 77 inch is $14.99. And while it's not a quantum dot OLED, which you'll see in a moment, it's still just a WOLED, but an average WOLED will still look better than most TVs in the store. OLED technology is that beautiful, quantum dot or otherwise. Speaking of quantum dot OLEDs, here is the 77-inch S95F QD OLED flagship. You see it here with this anti-glare screen and corresponding soundbar. I also love what these manufacturers is almost everyone you see here will have a soundbar that hooks up with it so easily, and you're better off staying with a corresponding soundbar from your favorite manufacturer, but nearly every manufacturer has one. The S95F is incredible. You see it here, as I mentioned, with the anti-glare coating, which significantly reduces any reflections at all. You couldn't even see my hand in front of the screen. The S95F comes in a 55, 65, and a 77 inch. You'll see that price in a moment. It also comes in an 83 inch. However, that's not a QD OLED. That is an RGB tandem OLED similar to the LG G5, which you'll see momentarily. And we'll go across the way and you're going to see a 85-inch QN80F for $17.99. This is a Neo QLED mini LED. Now the QN80F comes in sizes from 55, 65, 75, 85, and 100 inches. You'll see that in a moment. And the QN80F is the step down from the flagship QN90F. It does have a glossy screen. Right above that is also a step down QD OLED, the Samsung S90F. Here it is at 55 inches. This is a QD OLED, a step down from the S95F you just saw behind me. Both of these models are step downs from the flagship, and both of them have glossy screens, where the flagships do have that anti-glare matte coating. And while the S90F is a tremendous value, I love to step back and show you the difference between a 55-inch OLED and an 85-inch Neo QLED mini LED that is only about $700 in price difference for the larger TV. Let's move over to the Samsung QN80F. Same TV as we just saw at $4,499 for a 100-inch. Now that's not a 100-inch value-based TV. That is a mid to high-end Neo QLED 4K TV at 100 inches for that price. If you've been an enthusiast for a long time, you'll realize that's an incredible price for a Samsung that size. Unbelievable. Now, Samsung's true flagship, other than the micro RGB, is Samsung's 8K QN990F. This again is their centerpiece at $5,000. It is a beautiful TV, one of the best anti-glare treatments on it. Very bright, crazy AI features. Again, very beautiful design. It is borderless and bezel-less, very thin. But at the same price for this 75-inch, you could get a 100-inch QN80F that we just saw. That's why I like comparing these prices and sizes. Samsung has a staggering amount of models in their Best Buy locations. Literally, check that out. It's dizzying to look at all the models, but it is quite simple when you break them down. Here is the Samsung QN70F. This is a Neo QLED mini LED, but it is edgelit, so it is a bit of a hybrid. I have it in the studio for review right now. It comes in 55, 65, 75, and 85 inches. Very interesting and very good looking TV for the money. This, in my opinion, is the entry to the Neo QLED mini LED lineup. Here you have the S85F. This is another OLED very similar to the S84, but the S84 only came in two sizes. The S85F comes in sizes ranging from 55, 65, 77, and 83. Again, it's an OLED. They're going to be beautiful no matter what. While repetitive, I do want to show you these other TVs because it does kind of illustrate how the stores can be very confusing. Here's the S95F flagship QD OLED you saw earlier, just at a different size. Here it is at 65 inches. Then you're going to see the Samsung Q8F. Now this is where you fall out of the Neo QLED mini LED lineup. It's still 120 hertz, but the image quality is going to take quite a hit. And then here is another QN80F. So they do have the TVs mixed up quite a bit. If you're going to stay with the Neo QLED and mini LED lineup, I would suggest starting with the QN70F that we saw earlier, or drop down to, say, a Crystal series if you want to really save money with Samsung. Just because the image quality drops quite a bit from the QN70F to the Q8 and the Q7. Again, very confusing. Moving over to Samsung's main pad, you're going to see the 77-inch flagship S95F QD OLED at the top with the anti-glare coating, then the glossy S90F. Now the S90F, though it is the step down, the image quality is very close, and as I mentioned, it's glossy. But look at that price difference. That is unbelievable. The S90 series is one of the most recommended TVs by me each and every year, as you have some of the best image quality in the world at a fraction of the cost. The S90 is also the TV you're going to see in a Costco at a reduced price many times. For me, the S90F is one of the can't miss TVs in the world. Here you see the anti-glare coating compared to the glossy screen. I would still get the glossy S90F. It is close enough. And then here is the centerpiece, which isn't the QN990F, but the QN900F, which is still an 8K TV, but you lose that bezel-less, borderless design. Image quality nearly as good, again, for a fraction of the price, because there it is at 85 inches versus the more expensive 75-inch QN990F, which we saw earlier. So if you need 8K, you can get the Samsung QN900F for a fraction of the cost of the QN990F. It's available in sizes from 65, 75, and 85 inches. Let's now look at the Samsung QN90F. This is the 4K Neo QLED mini LED flagship. The QN90 series is one of my favorites year after year. You have the anti-glare treatment that you saw on the other flagships. It ranges in sizes from 43 inches up to 98 inches, and now even 115 inches. It does again have the anti-glare coating of the other flagships. It's here above the Samsung Q8F. We discussed that earlier, but the QN90F flagship is highly recommended and one of the more beautiful TVs you'll see year after year. Absolutely beautiful, and again, one of my favorites. The Q8F, cool TV, but the image quality will drop quite a bit. I'd go for the QN70F over the Q8F. Here is a smaller S90F at 48 inches. Again, not a QD OLED, but I wanted to spend this much time on Samsung as they do have the most TVs in this store and they are the most confusing. The rest of the manufacturers throughout the video are very straightforward in the lineups that they have available. Sony is up next. You see 4 Sony TVs here. I'm also going to splice in some footage from another Best Buy to be able to show you one more model. You have the Sony Bravia 5 here, the Sony Bravia 7 above it. You also have the Sony Bravia 8 OLED with the Sony Bravia 8 Mark II QD OLED below it. What's missing is Sony's true flagship, the Sony Bravia 9, which is an absolutely gorgeous TV available in 65, 75, and 85. Here we have the Bravia 8 OLED. I have this TV in my studio. This TV is also available in 55, 65, and 77 inches. It's a W OLED. But the Sony Bravia 8 Mark II QD OLED is similar to the Samsung models you saw earlier, but the Bravia 8 Mark II is the winner of both the Value Electronics TV Shootout and the HD TV Test UK Shootout. It is considered the king of all TVs. Here we see the Sony Bravia 7 Mini LED. This is an excellent TV which carries over from last year, sits below the flagship Bravia 9. And the excellent Sony Bravia 5 Mini LED, which is the successor to the very popular X90L series. While Sony may have less offerings, it's all about quality over quantity, and it's about image processing for Sony. Sony's lineup is also structured from TVs from last year, meaning some models do carry over: the Bravia 7, Bravia 9, and the A95L, making obsolescence less of an issue for Sony. That way your current TV is current longer. The Sony Bravia 9 not seen in this video is available in sizes of 65, 75, and 85 and is considered by many to be still the best mini LED on the planet. The Bravia 7 that I also showed you is available in sizes of 55, 65, 75, and 85. And lastly, the Sony Bravia 5 is available in 55, 65, 75, 85, and an ultra large size of 98 inches. I also wanted to show a kind of an unknown model, which is a Sony XR8B OLED. This is a more simplified version of the Sony Bravia 8W OLED. Same exact image quality, just a more simple design for a better price. It comes in sizes of 55, 65, and 77 inches. Love the Bravia 8. This is a more streamlined, more affordable version. And like the rest of the manufacturers and the rest of this video, a lot of these TVs aren't going to be on display at your local Best Buy. This one is highly recommended. You're going to have to ask for it if it's not on display. Let's move on over to LG. Now, LG is close to my heart, as my personal TVs at home that I use the most are LG OLEDs. The last one I purchased you're going to see in this video being the LG G5. LG is known for amazing OLEDs, both W OLEDs and the brand new RGB tandem OLEDs that you're going to see on the LG G5 and the 83-inch S95F. That's also from LG Displays. Known for their image quality and excellent gaming capabilities, love LG, and they have been doing OLEDs forever and in my opinion are the most trusted. Here you're looking at the 77-inch LG G5. This TV comes in 42, 48, 55, 65, 77, and 83. C5 is very bright this year, very slim design. Love the LG C series. Here you see the LG G5 and the LG C5. Let me step back so you can see what a 65-inch LG OLED looks like next to a 77-inch. They are glossy screens, and while the reflections don't look great here, they do have some of the best reflection handling in the business. The G5, which is their flagship, is available in sizes of 97 inches, 83 inches, 77 inches, 65, and 55. Keep in mind the 97-inch is not a tandem OLED, it is a W OLED. Still absolutely gorgeous. Just checking the prices of them all. The C series, I also own their smaller size C4. Love it for a small form factor. On the C series, you're going to have a more traditional OLED design versus the Gallery G series, which has a silver bezel, but it is the same thickness from top to bottom, making the TV very flush and beautiful when mounted. Here's a closer look at the LG G5. You'll see it here at 77 inches. You can see, unlike traditional OLED, it is more thick. It does have a silver bezel. It does come with its own mounting bracket that makes it lay flush completely against the wall. Absolutely beautiful when mounted correctly. And here is the LG B5, one of my favorite TVs in the entire store, ranging from sizes of 42 to 83. This has one of the most beautiful and natural images of any OLED. You'll also see these in Costco. highly recommended. And here are some other C5s that you're seeing littered throughout the store, different sizes, different prices. Like Sony, it's about quality over quantity. So you have the B5, C5, and G5 as the major OLEDs. You also do have their QNED mini LED lineup. While not as popular as the OLED series, you're going to see a big push from LG next year with the QNEDs trying to compete in the mini LED market. Here is a 100-inch QNED 85A. Now, I do think that there is a great future for mini LEDs through LG. They just need to promote these a bit more. As a reviewer, I haven't had hands-on with any of their QNEDs this year. I have in the past, but LG's OLEDs are what they're known for. Expect a big push from LG in regards to QNED next year. Mini LEDs are the future in terms of value and size. As you've seen throughout this video, the largest TVs here, the most affordable ones are mini LEDs. Here's another LG QNED 85A. It's 75 inches behind the main LG OLED pad. They range in sizes from 55 inches, 65, 75, 86, which has always been a weird LG size, and 100 inches. And lastly, shout out to Roberto from Best Buy who put a B5 on display. Let me zoom in. Again, one of my favorite LG OLEDs in the entire store. Definitely check out the B5, one of the most natural and beautiful OLEDs out there. Let's move on to Hisense. Now, my local Best Buy that I'm filming in doesn't have a large Hisense presence, so I'm going to use footage from my last video simply because they are an industry leader and we have to talk about them, as their image quality and their processing mixed with their value and sizes offered really can't be denied. You have the UAQ, U7Q, and the U6. All have 100-inch sizes down to 55 inches. Now, these prices aren't accurate. I'm going to put them on screen as these were shot a few weeks ago and the prices are much better, but I want to be able to show you the TVs that you see here. Now, on the screen, you're seeing the prices for Hisense's ULED mini LED lineup with the U6, U7, and U8. The U6 has sizes from 55 inches to 100 inches, the 100 being $16.99. The U7Q has sizes from 55 up to 116 inches. And a U8Q, which is the consumer flagship for most of us, is 55 inches to 100 inches. That is amazing. Mini LED quantum dot ULED lineup. They have fantastic TVs. I have the entire lineup in my studio in for review, but I had to show you the prices as some of the footage is limited. But these are some of the best TVs out there, and the prices really are incredible, especially for the size, features in both gaming and image quality, as well as immersion. Last but not least, we have TCL, and like Hisense, there isn't a large in-store presence, so I'll put the models and the prices on screen. You do see the 98-inch TCL QM7K in this video. I have this entire lineup in my studio and all my reviews are on the channel. Absolutely amazing TVs from TCL. Many models, all mini LED from top to bottom. The QM6K is really my value pick for the entire year, as it does have very high-end image quality for a tremendous price. Starting in sizes from 55 inches all the way to 98 inches for the QM6K. The TCL QM7K, also amazing, goes from 55 inches all the way to 115 inches. The TCL QM8K is basically the flagship, going from 65 inches all the way to 98 inches. And then the TCL QM9K, which is their ultra premium, goes from 65 inches to 98 inches. Again, all of these are on my channel. Absolutely amazing lineup. Again, mini LED from top to bottom. Now, I apologize for the crude way the prices are on screen. I will always try to show you the TVs more than just put prices up or just put you on a website. But these are great TVs that I don't want you to miss. In closing, I will always show physical locations. I do believe there is a place for retailers, physical retailers such as Best Buy, Costco, our good friends at Value Electronics. I encourage you to go in and support any of the retailers that are there in person with real employees walking around, and see the effort not only from the employees, but from the manufacturers setting them up for you. I'm Brian. This is Tech Therapy. I hope you have an amazing Thanksgiving and enjoy your holiday. Love you guys. Take care.
It's better to burn out than to fade away. There can be only one.